started our day today here at a rest stop in Maryland. But we'll be making our way up to West Virginia
to hunt cryptids.
Well, we're out of Maryland, but we're officially in West Virginia now, and one step closer to our mission. We're here in Thomas, West Virginia, one of our first stops. It's kind of like a small hipster type town, but with that West Virginia-ness. It's a lot of neat art galleries and bars and stuff like that. So yeah, that's Thomas. Not really what you expect from West Virginia, at least it's not what I expect. When I think West Virginia, hipsters, expensive coffee, tattoo parlors. As we get deeper and deeper into West Virginia, we get closer and closer to our goal of finding the cryptids. Here are some of the cryptids that we'll be looking out for. Mothman, the Flatwoods Monster, Bigfoot, the Grafton Monster, Millie, first on our agenda, the Grafton Monster. So we're going to be making our way to where the Grafton Monster was first sighted.
This is like Millie. I just found Millie.
The year was 1964 when a man named Robert Cockrell left his work here at the Grafton Sentinel, this very building, now known as the Mountain Statesman. He left his work, turned a corner on the road along the Teagart River when he saw the Grafton Monster. He initially didn't report anything because he doubted what he saw. He couldn't believe his eyes. But the next day, when he heard that other people had similar sightings, he decided to report it himself. And he would write in his paper for the Grafton Sentinel exactly that. This is the road, Yates Avenue, that he supposedly saw the monster when coming home from work. It's day 2 of our West Virginia adventure, and we're starting our day here at the birthplace of Mother's Day. Pretty odd, strange, West Virginia fun fact. Mother's Day started here. Philippi Mummies. In 1888, Graham Hamrick mummified human cadavers using formula unrevealed to this day. Mummies traveled the world, now reside here. So the guy, in an effort to find new ways to embalm bodies, requested the town judge to allow him to use a new method on 2 dead bodies from an insane asylum in the late 1800s. And the judge signed off on it and allowed him to. Later, the bodies were given to P.T. Barnum and they were toured around Europe. Eventually, they came back here in Philippi, West Virginia. And at some point, they were bought by a guy named Frank Bigfoot. Just a weird story from start to end. Very, very odd.
A 20-year-old and a 40-year-old that were in the insane asylum, both female. We don't know who the 40-year-old was, but we know who the 20-year-old was because she wrote letters to her husband.
We're in Weston, West Virginia now, at the asylum that those patients came from who were mummified.
Then there's also Grafton Monster.
We made it just barely. We made it to the Flatwoods Monster Museum, there's a little competition. If you take pictures next to all 5 chairs of the Flatwoods Monster, they give you a little sticker. And there were 10 minutes before the museum closed, but we got it. It was here in Braxton County in 1952 that people reported seeing a bright, flashing light in the sky, and then some sort of monster that would later be known as the Flatwoods Monster, or Braxy, come down. Afterwards, people part of Project Blue Book came to the town to try to explain the anomaly. They decided, or they concluded, that the bright flashing light was most likely a meteor, and the monster that they saw was a barn owl. We're making our way to Point Pleasant, West Virginia right now, home of the Mothman. But we've made a quick stop in Charleston because you gotta go through there anyways to get to Point Pleasant. It's the capital city of West Virginia, and we're at the Capitol building right now. We're here in the TNT area right now, where a Mothman was sighted in the 1960s. Ah, well, you had it. This is weird. Mothman. Sus. In 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed, taking 32 vehicles and 46 people's lives with it. It's been associated with Mothman because many people reported seeing him during and around the time of the collapse of the bridge. The bridge has been restored and rebuilt since, renamed the Silver Memorial Bridge. It's a sad, tragic past, but that's the history of it. We're in Point Pleasant, West Virginia now, cryptid mecca.
In southern Ohio and northern West Virginia, the legend of Mothman is as strong as it was 45 years ago. The witnesses all describe the same thing, a faceless, red-eyed freak who seemed to have a message to tell. But what was this message?
All right, we're about to enter the Mothman Museum. That's where we were. That's where we were.
It's already happened. Not just here, but all over the world. And it's happening right now.
They've tried to explain the Mothman sightings that have been happening since the 1960s as being an owl, like the Flatwoods Monster, or a crane possibly, but no one's been able to settle on one thing. There are still sightings of Mothman all over the world to this day, usually before disasters. It's just strange how many sightings there have been in Point Pleasant specifically, all over West Virginia. Not just the Mothman, but UFOs, other cryptids like sheep squatch. Very odd. We've made our way to a town called Moundsville in northeast West Virginia. We're at a Hindu temple. I'm done looking for cryptids. I'm looking for inner peace. Namaste. So you wouldn't really expect a Hindu temple in West Virginia, at least I didn't before now, but they're also serving tacos and hamburgers, and you wouldn't really expect that being served at a restaurant at a Hindu temple. But here we are. It's pretty good. I like it.